have already lived through thousands of regulating moments. Most of them did not feel important. This video, however, invites you to slowly recognize what's happening. I'm glad you're here. You do not need to prepare for this video. As usual, there's nothing to follow, nothing to accomplish, nothing to get right. For the next few minutes, you will simply watch slow movement. Shapes will shift, edges will pass through one another. There is no message inside the movement. There is no outcome waiting at the end. The visuals will continue in their own time. You can let your eyes move with them, or you can soften your gaze and let the motion exist in the background. Either way is fine. The nervous system responds to continuity. When something moves slowly and keeps moving without interruption, the body begins to recognize that rhythm. It does not need to interpret it. It only needs to experience it. You may notice yourself settling slightly, or you may notice nothing at all. Both are ordinary. Slow repetition often works beneath awareness. The movement in front of you is steady. It does not rush. It does not build. It curves and returns. It overlaps and separates. It continues. When experience unfolds in a predictable way, the body has less to track. There is less urgency, less need to anticipate. You're not being asked to breathe differently. You're not being asked to focus. You're simply here while something steady happens. That is enough. We will stay with this first rhythm for a while. If your attention drifts, that drift is part of being human. If you find yourself watching closely, that is also fine. Attention can move the way the shapes move. Nothing needs correction. The repetition itself carries the experience forward. The nervous system learns from what repeats without consequence. Time passes. Movement continues. Nothing unexpected interrupts it. That kind of continuity can feel neutral. Neutral is often where regulation grows. In a moment, the image will shift. It will not be abrupt. It will simply become something slightly different. You do not need to prepare for that shift. You can allow it to happen. And when it does, you may notice the change. Then you may notice yourself settling again. Now the second movement begins. The shapes are different. The surfaces reflect light in a new way. The colors may feel warmer or cooler, but the pace remains slow. The rhythm remains even. There is something supportive about gentle variation inside a steady structure. It reminds the body that change can happen without disruption. That difference does not always mean danger. The shapes move, they pause, they return. Your eyes follow, or they do not. Your thoughts come and go. This is a space where nothing is demanded. No insight is required. No shift is required. Time is allowed to pass without performance. Sometimes regulation grows in spaces like this, spaces where nothing dramatic happens, where repetition does its quiet work. The nervous system responds to what it lives through repeatedly. And right now, what it is living through is slow, steady motion. We will stay here for a while. You do not need to measure how long. You do not need to notice progress. Just let the shapes move. Let the light slide across the surface. Let the curves return again and again. The predictability of motion can reduce the need to scan. The body recognizes when something unfolds in a familiar way. Even abstract movement can become familiar within minutes. Familiarity reduces effort. Effort softens. In a little while, the image will change again. You do not need to anticipate it. You do not need to mark the transition. It will simply arrive. Now, the final movement. The shapes shift again. Another variation inside the same steady pace. You may notice that your body feels slightly different than it did at the beginning. Or you may notice that everything feels the same. Both experiences are valid. Repetition accumulates quietly. It does not announce its effect. It does not guarantee a result. It simply continues. Slow movement can create space, space between thoughts. Space between moments. Space inside the body. The nervous system does not require intensity to learn. It learns from steadiness. It learns from what repeats without interruption. It learns from time that passes without demand. We will stay here until the end. There is no conclusion waiting, no summary, just the final stretch of movement. Shapes continuing their slow rhythm. Light moving across smooth surfaces. Time unfolding in a predictable way. You do not need to leave differently than you arrived. You have simply spent a few minutes enough. Thank you for sharing this time here with me. And remember, you are safe.